All right. Whew, man, all of a sudden it feels warm in here. Welcome to the studio, everybody. And I'm going to try to paint that guy up there in the corner. If you can't see that, let me make that a little bit bigger for you. This is a challenge painting, and we are trying to do rain today. So here's my rainy city scene that I'm going to paint. Let me come back to the broadcast center, and I've got my paper here. This is 140-pound B paper that I'm using. Colors that I'm using are down there. My palette over here on my right-hand side. These are my M-gram paints. I got quite a dirty palette. That's okay. And let's see, what else do we need to talk about? I'm going to be using a variety of brushes today. This isn't my normal style, but I'm going to give it a shot. I think it'll be fun, or we can have some fun with it anyways. And I'm just going to kind of jump right in. I've pre-drawn everything here as normal. Oh, the one thing is that I've got chat coming in down here on this side. It'll scroll up. If that gets to be too much, somebody let me know, and I can easily turn that off, but I'm going to try to leave it on at the moment. Okay, and a little explanation of what I want to do. I'm going to try to do this. Hello, Liza. Hello, Dwayne. Hello, Tom. Welcome. Anybody else who's here, welcome. Put a hello in there. Would love to hear from you. So I'm going to try to do this fairly wet into wet. Or wet, loose. Let's just say it that way. Maybe some will be a little bit wetter and some will be a little drier, but I'm going to try and do it more loosely. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to work my way down a little darker on the sides where the buildings are at. Pretty light here in the center. I'm not going to worry about painting the buildings on the first go around. And then it'll get a little lighter down here, and then again darker as it comes towards us. And I want to leave some of the sidewalk that's here pretty light. Lemon Squirrel is here. Hello, Lemon Squirrel. And I think I'm going to go with that. There will be a couple of things I hold back and I don't paint. Like the taxi cab here. I think maybe the guy here. I think some of these cars back here we can get a little darker, but a couple things I'm going to hold up on. Michael, okay, Eliza says, I have to chuckle. I see you contacted Tracy a few weeks ago. I tried today and saw your post to her. Great to know she's okay. Yes, she's doing fine. She's got a new job. It's just she's got some extra responsibility and is not able to join us during this time. But she does say that she still watches afterwards and enjoys the stream and wishes she could be here with everybody. So that's always really nice. Okay, and so I'm going to jump right in. Kenya's here. Hello, Kenya. Welcome. And here we go. So have some really light mix. I'm going to start in the center here. And I'm going to try... Like I said, I'm going to try to keep a wet edge as I go down. Maybe a little darker than this. Right up here, knowing that this is going to lighten up as we go, or as it dries out. So I don't want to let too much of a wet or a dry edge form. Knowing that this paper does like to leave some serious tide lines. So I'm going to try not to do too much of that. But there we've got kind of you can see right down the center, got kind of like a dirty line, a little darker at the top. It's a little lighter towards the bottom. Bottom here is what I'm talking about. And I'm going to just drop some colors on the sides here to start with. I am going to try to go around my taxi cab, which is off center, but which really is the star of this painting. Taxi cab right there. Trying to keep some wet going. If you're keeping track at home, B paper is probably not the best paper for this. And that's okay. B paper happened to be the paper I had for this, or had available to me at the moment to do this, and that kind of makes it the best paper for this. So I'm going to drop in some lines here, some darker colors. And again, we're going to be going over this many times, so I'm not too worried about it yet. I hope I got this in time. On this side over here, this side is, I'm going to have, let's say, a little bluer. This side over here, let's have this side a little warmer. It doesn't have to be super warm, but a little bit warmer. And I'm going to be a little bit more comfortable talking to everybody in about a minute here when I get this color on. And I don't have to worry about my paper anymore. I probably should have gotten the whole thing wet, but that's okay. All right, a little blue down here. A little blue as it comes towards us. Should warm a little bit. Some of this neutral tint as it comes down. And while I've got it, and it's ever so slightly wet, I can adjust this somewhat however I want. And what I'm going to do real quickly, because I know I want to get this started, is I'm going to drop a couple of red lines in here. Let's see, I'm just going to get these going here because I know that in here there are some reflected lights. These are reflections from some what do we call these tail lights up here? Okay, so that's about what my first layer is going to look like. Now I feel like I can stop for a second and breathe. And it looks to me like somehow, some way, somebody's gotten some greasy fingerprints all over this and I didn't know it. And that's kind of a little distressing to me. So, where do we go from here? Okay, great question. So we've got this wet and wet, really kind of loose scene started. Now we can go back and start putting in our building. We're going to have to dry the whole thing, but we can then make a mix and go back in and start putting in our buildings from the very distant, right, way back here, and building them forward. So they're going to be lighter way back there. And because they're way back there and that ochre color is back there, maybe the storm isn't really quite raining so much back there. I don't know what I'm going to do about this fingerprint here, quite honestly. We'll have to figure something out. But these ones back here are going to be a little lighter. They'll get a little darker and a little more intense as we come out to the side. So on the side, it should be fairly dark, right? It's going to be dark down here, and then we're going to have these pops of color here and there. Okay, that's the basic plan. Are we all on board with that? I'm not sure I am. Well, I'm sure I am. I'm just not sure it's going to work that way. Okay, hold on. I got to get a drink of water. So, Liza, you mentioned Tracy. I am Tracy Perkins out tonight. I have the diffuser going. I don't know what, I almost said flavor, what scent of stuff is in there. It smells lovely in the studio this evening. I just have to grab my hair dryer, and I'm going to put you all on mute for just a second while I dry this off. So I will be back in like 20 seconds. Okay, that might have been more than 20 seconds. It's pretty dry. It's not completely dry. You see, it is really lightened up, especially down here on the bottom. It's really lightened up, but we have a really nice kind of range of colors down here. So we're going to start in the back, and we're going to paint some of this. Oh, and I should say, Tom, thank you for reminding everybody to like the video. Normally, Eliza has that job, but thank you for that. Yes, everybody give me a like. That will give me a boost in the ratings a little bit. I very much appreciate that. And before I go too far, I just want to note down here. So if you all don't know, my table's on a slant, probably 5 degrees, 6 degrees, maybe something like that. So I've got a little puddle of water down here at the bottom of my palette. Right there. That's a lovely gray color. I'm going to try not to get rid of that. I'm going to try to use that with a lot of my colors, because that color's made up of a lot of these colors. Some people are going to be like, well, that's just mud, but it's not really just mud. Mud is made up of a lot of other stuff. So, all right, let's see. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to give one shot at this, and there happened to be a, oh, come on, some kind of a fiber on my brush. There's one little bit of this. I'm just going to let this blend out on the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. We've got this building over here. This is not going to end up being exactly like where's it at? The reference photo over there. It'll end up being quite a bit different. My buildings probably, and when I say probably, what I mean is absolutely, don't have as much detail on them. Well, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a building, right? It's another fiber on there. But we're going to roll with it and see what comes of it. And I'm going to try to have fun with this. This is part of I should say, I'm going to turn this for just a second. I should say, this should be part of what makes these challenges a little fun, right? I could do these challenges and just stick with something I know I'm going to be able to paint, and it'll probably work out, and it'll probably be fine, and everybody will go, yeah, that looks nice. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a painting that I've done before. But this one is going to be something quite a bit different, because I probably do loose paintings like this, I don't know, twice a year. It's not very often. And so I can challenge myself, maybe push my skills a little bit to see if I can do this. And if I can, that's awesome. Then I can maybe extend what I do a little bit, get a little better at it, find a different way to do it. I don't know. But do something that's going to stretch my skills a little bit. Tracy is here. Hello, Tracy. Great to have you here. I hope you're doing fantastic. We were just talking about you. That's probably why you joined. Your ears were burning. Liza and I were just talking about you. Let's see. I have to look up at my image here. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is an entire building here. I'm glad to see you here, Tracy. I hope the new position is going well. I'm sure it is. I have no doubt. But it's nice to have you here. Was just telling everybody, like I said, I have the diffuser set up. It smells wonderful here in the studio this evening. I have to say, it is always nice when you can sit down in a place that's just really, really nice to be in. And this line is not straight. I kind of drew that line not so straight. And so like I said, I have no idea. This is some kind of relaxation scent for some such thing, but I don't know what it is, but it's fantastic. Oh. And now it says my stream is buffering again. Is it buffering? Are people seeing it buffer a little bit? Liza says, Tracy, I do hope you'll be able to be here more often. I really look forward to seeing what you put up in your channel. Yes, work has been busy, super busy here at Amazon. That's not all because of me. I have ordered a few things. I've ordered quite a few things. And here's something. I don't blame it on Dwayne. But typically, sorry, Dwayne, but typically what I buy is fishing stuff. So Tracy, I can only take credit for some of the things that you're having to do. Everybody's saying hello. I love that. Love the friendship and camaraderie that this channel has. Really is nice to see. And we're getting a few of these buildings built out here. A few of them as they're coming down, all the way down to the bottom. We get down to the bottom down here, and I don't think it matters so much what everything looks like. I'm just going to kind of blend everything together a little bit. And if it doesn't look exactly right, then that's all good, because right is in the eye of the beholder. But we have some cool looking buildings back here so far. Actually, I'm going to try to get just this little bigger brush so I can do this a little bit faster. Look, Liza says, we missed you. Kenya says, the Amazon thing is my fault. Sorry. That's... Liza says, we missed you, Tracy, and we're glad all is well. And I think that goes for everybody. It's great to have you back. Okay, and let's see. What am I trying to do here? As I'm moving out a little bit, and I might need to let that just dry ever so slightly, I want to start to darken a little bit here and a little bit there. I'm going to gray this down a little bit. And there's like a sign right here. And I don't need these buildings to be too different. I don't need them to be, a complete hard line between them. But I do want there to be a difference in what people are seeing. And I'm totally fine. When I say I want people to see a difference in what they're saying, I do want them to see a general difference in the line of the building coming down, right? But it doesn't have to be so perfect that I would get fanatical about it, because after all, it's raining and your vision might be a little bit skewed here and a little bit skewed there. I'm totally fine with that. I'm going to bring this one down. Looks like my thing just flashed. Sudike, have you been here? I mean, I know you've been here before, but today? Or am I just seeing you? Anyways, if I haven't said hello, hello. Thanks for making it. All right, this one's going to be a bit darker out to the side. I'll worry about these windows that I've drawn on here a little bit later. I've got a couple of cars here that maybe I should go around in a window. In my mind, this is going to look great when we're done. Liza says it's looking terrific so far. Oh, Liza, thank you for that. I'm just trying to get on some basic colors here. Right? I'm not trying to get too crazy or too specific about anything. And like I said, if the colors run together a little bit, it's okay. It's a rainy scene. They probably should run together a little bit. All right, there's a car here. There's probably a shadow there, and shoot, probably a tail light right there, right? Let's bring that on around. Let's get some blues, some darker blues down here. Oh, I do have to be careful up here. I totally forgot. I got a crosswalk I have to paint around. Well, I guess if we don't see it on that side, that'll be fine. I should say, this is the one thing I do like about painting a looser painting. You can just kind of let it rip a little bit and feel good that you haven't messed everything up so much. Right? What does a wet street look like? Well, it's kind of reflective of all the colors that are going on above it, right? Everything above it. So any of those colors that I've used up here, I should be able to use down here. I know I said I'm not going to worry about this too much, but I did see one line that I don't like. And I'm actually going to start to drab in a little yellow here. Let's just start that yellow on there. All right. And I think you can start to see where I'm going with this. I hope you can start to see where I'm going with this. So we get a little darker color back up there. I think this corner's starting to look good. Let me pull it down so you can see. There's our city skyline, a couple of buildings. We might have to do a little touch up here. I'm okay with that. Got a building over here. That's looking good. What I don't want is a hard line in here. I have to look, I'm going to paint from the bottom now, because I want to make sure I get some of this crosswalk in here. I know I have to mention that there is one painter that I could watch all day doing this type of painting. And it's not Tim Wilmot, who I very much like. It's not, I don't know, Peter Graves. It's not Charles Reed. Who else might I see? It's not Thomas Schaller. The one guy I really like to watch do this type of painting, if you've never seen him before, I would suggest taking a look at some of his paintings. They are absolutely stunning. His name is Alvaro Castagnet. And I think Alvaro, I'm out of focus. Come on, come back in focus. I think Alvaro is one of the most phenomenal modern painters that we have. And if you have never seen him paint, Liza, I need to do more of this type of thing. I don't know. I don't know if I can. It's tough. All right, I'm gonna come over. I could probably do some more of this. Quite honestly, it's kind of fun to do. It is a little stressy, but it is rather fun, I will admit. Let's see, this can be purpley all the way over here. I don't really want a lot of detail over here. There's not much over here. I can actually probably put a little bit more blue in there. I've just got a couple of shapes I need to be mindful of over on this side. That's it. I'll just say, right, if you guys really want me to do more of this kind of painting, I'll consider doing more of this kind of painting. Like I said, not necessarily my thing, but fun, enjoyable for me to do. You guys will just have to understand that the quality of painting might drop off a little bit because I'm not real good at it, and I still don't like these fingerprints. Tracy says, I'm actually subscribed to his channels, Alvaro's channel. Alvaro is fantastic. Oh, he's so good. He'd probably be turning over watching me do this right now, going, what are you doing? Why did you put color there? I don't understand what you're doing. But all of his paintings are exactly the same. He will, I'm just trying to look to see what I got going on here. He will throw some color on. Let's see, I'm just going to go over all of this. He'll throw some color on, and you'll look at it and you'll go, what is going on with that painting? I have absolutely no idea. And 30 seconds later, you're going to look at it and go, holy cow, that's fantastic. And you're left wondering how it ever was that he made such a cool painting out of nothing. Let's see, Dwayne says, Teresa says, you're doing great. Tracy, but I'm not your, and Liza says, Tracy, but I'm not you, and Michael, I am not brave enough to do what you guys do. Oh, Tracy says, you're doing great. Dwayne says, Michael, do you make me feel like I could jump right in and paint one of these? You could, Dwayne, you could do it. You could do it. So remember when I said I used to try to do all these different styles and try to be a little bit of everything, and was kind of a master of nothing? I would do a painting like this. I would do this 6 times, 8 times. I'd try to do the same painting 2, 3, 4 times just to see if I could get it right. Right. So I'm using quotes on right. And I always ended up going, I have no idea how this is supposed to end up. I mean, I could see a picture like that one. For me, it's over there on my computer, bigger. But I totally think a little practice, anybody could do it. You might not be able to have something that's going to end up in the Louvre, but you could totally do it. I've total faith in everybody that you could totally do that. Okay, I'm going to, actually I'm going to go back to this little smaller brush. I'm going to give a little bit of detail to a few things here. So bear with me. I've got some buildings coming down here. Whoops. I'm going to turn this over because I'm going to come back up this way. And get, you know what? Let's do this in a more of a blue color. There's I just got fat fingers right there. Messed up my line just ever so slightly. Hopefully nobody will notice that. If I put a little bit of this green in here, it should match the rest of that color a little bit. Oh yeah, there's a little warp in here. Who asked me about warped paper? Liza, I'm thinking it was you. Had asked me about warped paper before, and I typically don't use enough water to make things warp all that much. In this case, that page is warped. If I hold it up this way, you can totally see it. Probably from this side too. Oh yeah, look, you can totally see a big warp in there. It is still a little bit wet, so there's a little bit of warp in here. All right, that's all wet down here. I'm just trying to tighten up a couple of lines in here. And if it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. The Kenya, I like where you're going. I like where you're going. These aren't fingerprints. No, they never were fingerprints. They're water drops, right? There's a guy was taking a picture with a camera, and these came out as giant water drops on the camera. I like where you're going with that. I can get on board with that. All right, let's see. This building, I'm just going to do a few. This building, okay. Here's the corner of this building. We can just barely see. That can come all the way down here. That one bumps out there. Maybe it looks like a little bit. It's hard to tell sometimes after you've drawn something and you look at it. You go, what? How is this supposed to go? What does it really look like? I don't remember how this went. And then once we get down here, this can kind of blend into some other areas. It's all going to be dark down here. But I want to have some definition in between the between the different buildings here, not between the two buildings, between the different buildings up here. Let's see. So damp. Everything's damp. Let me do this. Let me mute you guys. The imagination is an amazing tool. Let's see where the warp takes you. It could be a happy accident. It could be. Let me mute you guys for a second. I'm going to draw this off again, and then we're going to start over. Not start over, but we'll pick up where we left off. All right. All right. All right. I think, you know what I think I'm looking at this. You know what I think the problem is? I got it. I got it figured out. I'm trying to do some positive painting instead of some negative painting. I think lots of times I do a lot better with negative painting. So where'd my towel go? There, it's in my pocket. So I just do a little bit like this. I should have just done a little bit like that. Could have set those two buildings. All of a sudden now, look, it's just barely tightened that line up. All of a sudden that building is a lot further out there. It looks, there's a lot more definition. I'm gonna do a little bit with this one. And we're gonna turn it around and do the other way. That's probably way too much paint. Let's pull that down. All right. That's way too much paint. Way. Uh-oh. Somebody said just... let's see. What do we decide? Let's see where the... Oh, Dwayne says, I missed this. Niaz Hannon, some very cool paintings, mostly sketchbook size, but wow. Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look that person up. I gotta grab my pencil so I can write it down. N-I-A-Z Hannan. Niaz Hannan. Okay, cool. Thanks, Dwayne. I'm gonna look that person up. Okay, what are we doing? A little bit on this side, right? Let's give this just a touch of color. Separate those buildings. Just a touch of color to separate these buildings. Let's pull that out before that can dry. It's already started to dry. Limitation of the paper. I hope that doesn't look too bad. That looks terrible. The solution, just a little extra paint. I think we can get around that little limitation. Okay, I think that works. Yep. I think that works. All right, I'm gonna do, let's see, I gotta do a little bit here, up here. See, this will be where the back side of this building is at. This part maybe not quite as wet and wet-y, as loose as other parts of this painting, but I think we can count this as a bit of a loose bit. What paper and size tonight? Okay, cool. Dwayne, thank you for the question. This is a bit of a pack of paper that just will not go away. So this is B paper, and I'll be honest with you. Some of you have heard me talk about B paper before. Not the greatest paper in the world, and I wasn't giving it the most forethought when I started this. I will be honest. What I did was I went, what paper do I have that's about the right size of the image, right? I know about how big I want it to be, so I can get some of this loose area in here, but not have it so big that it's going to take me 4 hours to paint. So this paper is B paper. It's cold press. It's 140 pound. It's all cotton paper, and it's a little weird. It's cheap. It's accessible for everybody, but it's got some strange idiosyncrasies to it, and I don't know, quite honestly, if I would suggest anybody buy this paper, but it is cheap. I bought it in a roll. like 100 foot long by a foot wide, some such thing. 2018. I want to say 2018, and I happen to have a wide format paper cutter at my work. So I took it into work one day and I cut it into all these different sizes. And I seem to have worked through most of them, but I still have whatever this is, 12 inches by 12 inches, 14 inches by 14 inches, whatever this size is. I've still got, I don't know, 8 or 10 different sheets of this left over, and for the life of me, I can't seem to use it all. I keep going, oh yeah, it's going to go away. This will just be gone, and I'll use it on this painting. And each time I open up the little pack where it's at, I keep seeing more, and I'm like, how is there more? I don't understand how I still have more of this paper hanging around, but I do. And so the paper that I'm using is B paper. It's 140-pound B paper, and it's from a roll. It's been unrolled. I'm not going to say anything bad about B paper specifically. I'm not trying to badmouth B paper in any way. If you've used B paper, if you like B paper and it works for you, I think that's great. I haven't quite gotten it to work right for me on anything larger than about 5x7, maybe 8x5, something like that. But again, I don't want to put anybody off it necessarily because I have my hang-ups about it. It's just not the paper I'm quite used to. But it is the paper that I grabbed for whatever reason. Okay, cool. So check that out. Lickety split. I've got most of a taxi cab painted on here. You know what it needs? Some red tail lights. I'm going to be a little careful, but not that careful about my red tail lights, because we're going to give this some additional color on here. And it is raining, right? Eliza says you can feel the atmosphere. Yeah, right down here you're starting to see it must be wet because you can see the reflection down here, right? It's got a dark-ish feel to it. It's all in muted colors, so something's going on. Something's going on with it. Let me see. I'm going to get a little turquoise here and a little bit of Paynes Gray. Is that going to be dark enough or dry enough? I think that's going to be just dry enough. I'm going to paint a back window on here. I think once we start getting a few elements on here and your attention kind of moves away from the buildings a little bit into something a little bit more in the foreground, you're going to go, oh, okay, I get it. I get it a little bit more. I get it. It's making more sense. Let's see. Tracy says, I have a pack that I purchased a while ago. I hardly ever use it. I'm assuming, Tracy, you're talking about the B paper. I don't use it much. I haven't used it much in a long time. It's just one of those things. Let's see. Let's see. What am I going to do here? I'm going to, I'm trying to think where I want to go here. what I want to do is I want to take some of this like darkish golden color. Now I put some bits of tape on here so I know in general where I need to stay as I'm painting. What I'm finding out is it's making it's making me move my page difficult. Okay, this is going to come out a little bit. Blend down, and as we come down this way, I'm going to add a bit of brown to it. This should just reflect some light that's in this little area right there, and there's a little stanchion here. Let's do the same thing on the far side of that. A little lighter up here. And it's going to go back that way a little ways. And it's not going to play nicely with me. Come on. Come on. Does anybody else sing to themselves when they paint? Or is that just me? Please tell me it's not just me. Somebody please tell me it's not just me. Can't be just me, right? Must be some other singers out here. Another singer-songwriter. Maybe not a songwriter. Okay, I'm going to make. Whoop, that's too much. Give me some of this blue. Darken this up a little bit. I don't want to cover up all of this. I want to leave a little bit of. Let's see, where's that building? Somewhere in there. A little bit of color. All right. Believe it or not, I'm kind of okay with that for the moment. Believe it or not. Dwayne is singing with me. Thank you. I don't sing, but I can swear. Yeah. No. All right, nobody's singing. All right, then I won't sing either. I won't. You've convinced me. No singing on the channel. Not gonna happen. Ooh, you know what? Some of this cerulean blue might be nice as a little reflection here or there. A little extra color. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go back to a little smaller brush. And I love the way my taxi cab is starting to look, especially with that reflection. I think it's a little light. It's a little bright right now. We're going to tone it down, but that's okay. We're gonna come in and we're going to paint a car or two back here. And let's paint this one. Right, there's one. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm going to say it looks something like that. And there's a little wheel that comes off of it maybe. Let's see if we can get it a little tighter to our taxi. It's really tucked in there behind it. That's a little piece of the windshield, or the back windshield maybe. Let's change our color just ever so slightly. Let's do the one right next to it. There's one right here. There's actually a guy standing right here too. I'm not going to paint him quite yet. We're going to try to paint him in a second. This color can come down. Let's do that. Come on, bring this color down. This color comes down. This color comes down. Should we just watery here? Shoo! Let's be brave. Be brave. There's a tail light right there too. That's got to come down. I'll prove it to you that there's a tail light. There it is. Now we can see the reflection of that tail light coming all the way down. Maybe it gets a little hung up in here somewhere. Oh, I like those too. Let's grab our color. I'm having so much fun. Let's paint a car over on this side. I don't know what color this is going to be. A mishmash of every color that's on our board. And a car doesn't have to look like a car. Liza, did you say I should look at Leron? Darker red. Darker red. Here? Dwayne? Here? Here? Where am I doing darker red at? I'm not disagreeing, I'm asking. Leron, I watched, I don't say I watch Leron. I haven't watched him in a while. But I used to watch Leron. And he's one that goes, oh, you don't need to have things perfect. You just kind of throw in a block and the person's going to kind of figure it out. This would be a car that Leron would do right there. Would take 4 seconds to do. You'd look at it and you'd go, you know what? I don't know how he's right, but he's right. And he is. And there you go. And there's my car there. There's my car there. There's a car there. And this one's a little too wet to do the tail lights on, so I'm not going to do that. But I will add a little extra depth color on this one. Like that. Cool. That's a car in the dark. With a reflection coming off of it. How about that? I'm not afraid to do that. It took me a long time to not to be afraid to do that, I will admit. The taillight on the yellow car needs to be darker. It does. I put that on and it was a little, I knew it was going to be a little light, but it was drying. The yellow was drying. I wanted to get some color on there so I don't have too hard of a tide line between the two. I'm going to go back and redo some of that. We'll get to it. I promise. I promise. Let's see. This is kind of a marquee sign up here. I'm going to paint this in a little bit of color. I think exactly the color that we use isn't all that important. But what is important is that we've got a number of I hope this comes through. We've got a number of street lights out here that I think we can put on. And you know what? I'm gonna I'll even give this one a little bit of red out here. Right? And maybe I'm gonna have to re-wet this. I can't put that on quite yet. Oh, okay. All right. What else do we need to do? I've got some people that can go on here. I've got this. There's a little balcony here. I know I need to take care of that. I've got a few people standing around. I think I'm going to... There's like a basket or something here, like a trash can on the sidewalk. I'm going to paint that in. Hopefully we get enough of this turquoise in this that it doesn't just look like it's a black blob. I'm trying to get a little extra water into this. And then I will take a little darker color of that and pull that back down the street that way a little bit. I don't think that turned out quite like I wanted it to. It looks like some kind of a robot there or something. We need to fix that. I think that's how this is when it's gonna go as we do this. But as we're adding a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more to this, I think the whole thing is starting to come to life a little bit. Starting to come to life. And why did you bleed out? I don't like that bled out. Okay. I think I need to stay away from this section. I think I'd come back. I'm going to come back and I'm going to tone down my taxi a little bit. Right? I think the taxi is a little too much in the... If it's in the rain, it shouldn't be quite this bright. So we're going to tone it down. It'll still be the biggest, the brightest thing out here. I'm really not concerned about that. It's just not going to be quite as bright as it was. Oh, that's a bit of a better color for that. That's way better for this. I can pull some of that color back that way. All right, we totally know what it is. Still a yellow cab. It's just now maybe a bit more in tune with the rest of the painting, right? It was way too bright before, and like I said, it's fine. It's the first layer. It can be bright, it can be white, it can be whatever. Not overly concerned with that. Something keeps flicking up here. Sudike says, hey, I just saw that Daniel Smith has an Alvaro Castagnet palette. They do. The one thing that makes an Alvaro Castagnet palette is that he has his own color of purple. How about that one? His purple it's like a gray purple. It should be in that palette of colors. I forget what he calls it, but it actually is a pretty cool color of purple that you don't normally see in too many places. But yeah, he has his own palettes, a palette of different colors. I really only uses 6 or 7 different colors. The window needs to adjust to the car color. Yes, the window does. I can't do the window quite yet because the yellow is still wet and I don't want to ruin my yellow quite yet. I'm willing to, just not wanting to quite yet. We're going to get to it. Okay, let's see. This anchors this building, or this, I guess I should say this balcony that's here. Comes in from there. Something like that. If we're going to have something like that, we better have something like that to pull that color down a little bit. Going to leave that before I put in this area up here. I guess while we're here, I'm just going to try to do this. We can darken up this corner. Right, this little bit of the building probably is pretty dark back here. I would guess that if our light source is up here, excuse me, if our light source is up here and coming back this way, all our reflections come this way, then this bit probably ought to be a little darker. I think there's a guy standing there like that. I guess he's standing next to a robot of some sort. I haven't quite figured out how that one all works out. I'm gonna put a few lines here and there. Let's see. And I'm going to smudge a couple of these just ever so slightly. The marks on the road, right? There's always marks on the road. That one might have gotten to be a bit too much. That's all right. There's going to be a guy standing right there anyways. I'm going to turn this over. I probably should wait just a second to do this. I want to outline that so we see that that's something, right? There's something sticking out from that building right there. We don't know exactly what it is. Some kind of balcony. But it's sticking out right there. We can accentuate that with a little extra color right there. This is going to get darker up here anyways. I need to do some finagling on this side. He's standing next to it's what it's supposed to be, is a garbage can. It really is supposed to be a garbage can. It just doesn't look like a garbage can. Eliza, you have potholes. Eliza says, you must say this is a lot to watch. You should try to paint it. Honestly, I don't have any idea how I'm doing with this. I think I'm working in the right direction. I think I've got things going about how I want them to go. But could be this is all going to go really wrong in the last little bit, and it could be terrible. We're gonna see it through, regardless, and see what happens with it. Give me some more of that color. Guy standing here. Let's see, how big is this guy? This guy's feet come down to some of this color, a little bit sepia. He's wearing a trench coat, which is going to flare out that little bit. Got some legs that come down like that, and then guy shadow. Michael, you're doing well. Liza, thank you. Sometimes I don't know if you're just being kind or if you really think that. I guess it doesn't really matter. I am actually enjoying doing this. I do feel like I'm being quite reckless, I will be honest. But I really am enjoying doing this. All right, so we got a guy here. Let's paint another guy up here. And I do realize that I'm kind of breaking the rules for painting people. As you paint people, let's paint another person over here. You should paint people with all their heads all be at the same height, or their all feet be at the same height. So I do realize I'm kind of doing this wrong, but I think it's okay. I think we're working towards a goal, and the goal may not be exceedingly clear, but we'll get there. Let's see, maybe this is this color. Well, this has got to be more blue on this side, right? This is more of a shadow side over here. Some kind of metal sticking out from the side of the building. But what I'm painting looks like people. I guess that's the most important thing. If they look like people and they're recognizable as people, I think I'm probably doing okay with it. It's when I start to paint them and they don't look at all like people that I'm really going to start to worry. Let's just go over that whole thing. There we go. I might need to darken some more up here. I'm going to wait for just a second. But I do think, Tracy's, I think it looks amazing. Thank you. I do think we're getting somewhere, right? We're definitely getting somewhere. I want to put, there's a bit of an awning here. Let's see if I can do this. I got to do this without getting too dark. I always wanted to try doing one of these scenic paintings. Tracy, do it. I have complete faith, Tracy, that you can do it. Anybody who can draw like you will be able to do this in a snap, right? This will be easy. No problem. Let's see, there's some kind of an overhang here that comes down. I'm going to make it come down kind of like this, and then it can come over this way a little bit further, and I'm going to pull it down almost to our car. Sorry, little guy, I just painted you. You just got painted over. Sorry about that. Drop some darker colors back up in here, and less water, more pigments, something right along that edge. I guess if I'm going to do it on the edge, I got to have an edge. And then Tracy, Isaac, and Michael. Oh, Natalie's here. Hello, Natalie. Did I miss you? Did you say? Were you here before? You think it's looking good? It's getting there. I gotta make this kind of thing look like it's something here. Honestly, I'm scrambling a little bit. I don't think there's any shame in saying that, because I'm trying to stretch a little bit. Sometimes stretching is hard, difficult. I'm okay with it. Let's see. I'm totally fine with trying to stretch and do some different things. Yeah, I think I'm going to. God, this paper is horrible. This paper is terrible. I think I'm going to try to. Actually, you can kind of see that bumps out there a little bit. That's not as bad as I thought. It's more dark all the way back here. I think that's okay. I think we can get away with that. We'll put a couple of lines and some windows here. Actually, I guess we can start to do some of that right now, right? Anna Juanita's here. Hello. Do you remember the TV painter Frank Clark? He used to say, just draw a couple of carrots instead of people. Just draw a couple of carrots. That's interesting. I do remember Frank Clark. I used to watch him on PBS. I think it was PBS. I like Frank Clark very much. But people should be pretty easy, right? There shouldn't be too much to people. A person should just be, let's get a color here, right? A head, right? Shoulders. Comes down to your waist. And throw an arm in here, an arm in here. Get some blue. And some shoes. And if I put that in a painting, you know what? He's wearing a coat. Let's do this. He's wearing a coat. There you go. That would at least be passable for a person. I didn't do much with it. It took me 8 seconds to draw. And that's passable. Give him a little shadow. Now all of a sudden, he's going that way. People don't really need to be difficult to paint. They really don't. And we're going to say, yes, PBS, right after Bullwinkle. Okay, so let's have some Bullwinkle Moose trivia then. What university did Bullwinkle Moose attend? Does anybody know? You look like an old boyfriend of mine. Oh, I don't know if that's a good thing. What university? The poll question is, what university did Bullwinkle Moose attend? 10 points to anybody who knows. Not that the points matter at all. I mean, this is, after all, an exhibition, not a competition, so please, no wagering. But if anybody knows, the university that Bullwinkle Moose used to attend, and I have to believe WU, but what does WU stand for? He did go to WU. Yes, Bullwinkle Moose attended What's the Matter You? Was the university Bullwinkle Moose attended. And Juanita, you get 10 points. You get 10 points. You can redeem everything at the gift shop on your way out. The only problem with that is there's no gift shop and there's nothing for sale. But other than that, you got it. We're going to put some wheels on here. Maybe that one's a little bigger. There we go. I don't want to do too much to mess this up. But I think it needed a wheel on there at least. And yeah, I'm jumping around a little bit. Let me see what other Bullwinkle trivia do I know? All these years and I didn't realize what that meant. What's the matter, you? How about who were the two baddies that Bullwinkle was always working to right the wrongs of? What were their names? This should be an easy one. Everybody should get this one. Jacqueline is here. Hello, Jacqueline. Welcome. You're just in time for some Bullwinkle trivia. There we go. There's some red. Let's strengthen the red up on those ones. It was Boris Bad Enough and Natasha, right? And yes, Sadique, I do remember Captain Kangaroo and Mr. Green Jeans, both of them. Used to watch them on a regular basis. I loved them both. Boris Bad Enough, Captain Mangaroo. Let's see. What do we have to do here yet? We've got to paint a few windows on a few of these. I'm tempted to grab a flat brush to do this with. I think I'm going to do that. Give me 1 second. Oh, flat brush. And I gotta get a couple of different sizes. Flat. Okay, I got some flats. I'm gonna drop some on here. I got a number of... Oh yeah, this is the one I was thinking for. I've got a number of flat brushes here of different sizes, and probably these two are going to be my best bet for doing some windows. Peabody and his boy Sherman are two more of my favorites. And they used to use what device? Peabody and Sherman used to use... Ooh, that's going to be too big. No, let's do this. If I'm remembering correctly, Peabody and Sherman used to use the Wayback Machine, did they not? The Wayback Machine, and this is way too thick for what we need to do here. The problem is, the further I go up this building, the steeper this angle needs to be to make it right. Come on, give me some other colors in here. Give me some of this blue. Give me a little blue in here. All right, and I'm gonna tap a little. I do like using the flat brush for some straight lines. I think it works fantastically for straight lines. Let's accentuate this a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what these are. Maybe these are some windows. Maybe it's just some architectural detail on there. There you go. That should look like that sticks out a bit now, right? That's undercut there a little bit. How about the Partridge Family? I did watch the Partridge Family a little bit. Lariat Sam. Wow, I don't know who Lariat Sam is. Jacqueline Our Age is showing. Natalie said you watched Romper Room, but they did not say your name. Oh yeah, Dwayne got it. The Wayback Machine, right? The Wayback Machine. Right. We're talking. If we're going to talk some old school stuff, well, I was always a big fan of Hong Kong Phooey. Does everybody remember Hong Kong Phooey? Hong Kong Phooey, and the one I really used to like to watch. I watched him I used to get an hour of TV I could watch a day. And I would watch him when I came home. I'd burn a half an hour to watch him when I came home. Was Speed Racer. Loved watching Speed Racer. Watched Speed Racer all the time. I will give an additional 10 points to anybody who knows what Speed Racer's brother's name is. Does anybody know what Speed Racer's brother's name is? An additional 10 points for anybody who knows. Oh my, Dwayne says, oh my God, yes, Hong Kong Phooey. I loved Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey was awesome. #1 super guy. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see. Speed Racer, and Dwayne got it. Speed Racer's long lost brother, though he didn't know it somehow, was Racer X. Racer X. Okay, let's see. I've got some stuff on the buildings here. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit more here. I need to figure out here, kind of. Let's see. A traffic light here. I've got this that comes that way. That goes over here. There's another one here. One comes out that way. This kind of holds up that sign. Comes over here somehow. This sign probably says something. I'll just write that in there. I'm sure that's what it says. This guy's probably got a license plate somewhere on his car. I think it's starting to look like a car all of a sudden. This guy got a little bit of a light spot here that I'm not wild about, but I don't hate it. I think it gives your eye somewhere to go rather than just, resting here, right? Your eye's gonna kind of wander up here a little bit. I do need to do something else with these. Who had a crush on Batman? I didn't. I will admit I did not have a crush on Batman, but I did kind of like Julie Newmar as Catwoman. I will admit to that. But Batman, I'm assuming you're talking Batman as the original Adam West. The original and still the best Batman of Adam West. That's my assumption. And Fred Gorshin as the Riddler was fantastic. There we go. A little more something on that building here. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. And Johnny Quest and his buddy Haji. Oh man, see, now we're just going down memory lane. I do remember Julie Newmar. I do. I didn't watch them originally as they came out. They were a couple of years ahead of me, not that far, but I did watch them quite a bit growing up. Let's see. I'm gonna drop in some other lines here. All right, maybe this comes in that way. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's give a little extra something on the window here. Get some of that dark. Maybe there's a reflection, a little bit of a reflection of the buildings on the sides here. Right, this doesn't have to be just one solid color. We can put a couple of different colors in there, and I've actually got way too much water on it, but that's part of the challenge, right? Okay, now I got some more interest on the back of that one. See, I didn't realize when I came out here this evening we were going to do a painting and early TV dramas. But I like it. I like it. James West from the Wild Wild West. He was my crush after Batman. I don't remember James West. Never watched Wild Wild West. Spider-Man, the original cartoons. I remember Spider-Man, the original TV show. I don't remember who was Spider-Man on the original TV show. I do remember, I remember him, and I remember Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. I do remember that. And I had a music teacher, if you believe this, a music teacher in junior high school who was a lifting partner for Lou Ferrigno in I don't know where he was doing it at, but he would come to school, and of course his arms are about this big around, and he had to have custom made shirts because nothing would fit him. And we'd bring him all kinds of stuff and go, hey, Mr. Phillips, can you bend this? So yeah, you'd bring him a giant 16-penny nail, and he'd sit in class and just bend it. And you're like, what? How is that possible? Nobody can possibly bend that. And he would do it. And he would do it. Well, that was my brush with greatness with Lou Ferrigno there. See, I'm going to put a little bit more blue in. Actually, I should put some purple up in the corner here. Let's do that. Give me some blue with this. Let's get some purple up here. Let's bring a little different color into the corner here. And I'm going to redo a little bit of this interspersed with a little of our new dark color here. I don't know if this is going to work well. I don't think it'll be bad. I want to give the road some more settling, right? I want it to pull this whole thing forward this way towards me a little bit. And I'm a little reluctant to do this, but I think a couple of details on some of these buildings back here would really go a long way. Doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think. You're not going to focus that much on that anyways. Maybe there's something written on the side here. We can put that on. Just a few extra little things that are going to help to make this a little bit. Let's see. We can help to make this a little more. .3D, there we go. Now you can see kind of the underside of that on how that's standing up. I don't hate that. What else do we need to do? I don't think there's too much more that we need to do as I'm looking at it. I don't think it's my cleanest painting in the world. The new Zoo Review coming back right at you. The new Zoo Review, that was the Croft family players. Is that right? Did anyone watch Zoom? Liza, I watch Zoom every day of my life. It's called How I Have All My Meetings. Oh, that's terrible. It's true, but it's terrible. Let's brighten these up a little bit. Zoom. I don't know what Zoom is. Let's see. Is that R2-D2 standing in the doorway on the left over here? That's supposed to be some kind of a trash can there. And it probably didn't work out exactly how I thought it was going to work out. And I think that's okay. It doesn't have to work out perfect. I hope it doesn't have to work out perfect. Oh, I don't have a window on the side of this. I just looked at that. Window. Now I have a window on the side of it. Okay, I don't know that I want to play with it too much more. I'm glad I put this extra reflection in there. I probably should strengthen the reflection from this guy, but everybody has kind of a reflection and it's pulling down a little bit. And it definitely has an overcasty kind of look to it. No, I'm talking about PBS Zoom for kids. Now leave the can as an homage to Star Wars, right? That's R2-D2. He's between movies. He's looking for something to do. He's just kind of hanging out here on the streets of whatever town this is. Can't find anything to do. Okay, so couple of things. Oh, and my pen has just gotten paint all over it. Couple of things. Not sure I hit my mark up here. I could have started with the sky being darker, which would have led to everything being a lot darker. And I wish I had only done one outline. Make the outline of the tops of the buildings all one color. Just do one and be done with it. I think that could have helped quite a lot with the homogeneity, something, making this all seem as one. I look at this, he's updating his resume. I look at this and the top of the building's here, this side-ish, I don't have too much problem with, but it does look a bit busy, okay? I chalk that up to this being a new thing, not knowing exactly what's going to happen with it or how to handle it. Totally on me. I can live with that. There we go. Let me take that off that gator board. So comes off a little weird to me. I could have done a little better up here. This little bump out, I actually end up liking this little bump out. I can totally see in the city, in a big city, you know, maybe there's a restaurant back there and this is where you go to, or this is the lobby of a hotel and they don't have, you know, a big space in there, but they want to show something off. That's what that is. This guy standing here, I got a couple of people standing here. They're all dark. It's a dark scene. I don't have a problem with any of the people. Actually, I guess I would like to see this guy's feet a little bit more. I'm just going to draw him in a couple of feet there. I don't know if that's going to help, really. I actually like the taxi. My favorite part of the whole thing, by far, and I kind of figured it would be, the taxi and the reflection here. If I could just do, if I could cut this down to this, I think it's a knockout, right? Just use this quarter of the page. I think it looks fantastic, especially for a first attempt. And again, really loose, really fast. I don't know how long we've been doing this. Oh my Lord, an hour and a half. We've been doing this an hour and a half. It feels like 14 minutes. Wow, an hour and a half. I'm shocked. No, I forgot what I was going to say. For something that I haven't attempted to do in years and years and years, probably, honestly, it's probably been 4 years or 5 years since I've tried anything like this. I think it really turned out pretty good. I'm happy with a number of things. Love the taxi cab. I like the lights. I like the reflection in the window here. I love the wet, damp pavement over here and the reflection that you get of the car as you see it bounce off the pavement. Like the reflections of all these guys. And I actually like, and this is one thing, if we think back to the beginning of this, I said I wanted to start a little darker up here and come and be really light by the time we got down to here. So I actually like that the lightest part of the painting is back here, and that, to me, that's what's causing all of the shadows from all these people, is this light spot back here just pushing the light back towards us. So I think that part is pretty successful. And the people, Liza, like you said, the people look like people. Natalie says, I like the lighter sky in the distance. It feels like hope that the rain is stopping. Right back here, yeah. These poor people are looking down their concrete canyon and going, it's not raining 5 miles from here, but it's raining right on me. Anyways, I'm not opposed to doing some more of this. This is kind of a fun exercise. I don't always think it's what I wanted it to turn out like. If I were to do it again, I wouldn't use this paper. Even now, look, it's run through just that amount of water. It's run through the paper, and it's pretty floppy and soggy at the moment. But all in all, I'll take it for what it's worth. And Liza says, everybody please hot the thumbs up. I'm assuming that means hit the thumbs up if you would, before you exit the room or before I end the stream. I am going to call it here. I do have to sign this first, I suppose. Let me sign it right here. So everybody, if you want to see more of this or this style of thing, this type of painting, leave a comment down below or leave a comment in Discord and maybe what you would like to see. Because I do like this style. If I'm looking at a painting, I do like this. Like I said, Alvaro Castagnette, I am a huge fan. Tim Wilmot, who does a similar type thing, huge fan. Those are two that I really like. So if you would like to see it, down below, let me know that you'd like to see it and maybe suggest what you would like to see. And I totally will take it into consideration and probably take on the challenge. But until then, I want to say thank you all for joining me. I had an excellent time. This flew by for me. We're at an hour 40 and literally it seems like 20 minutes. So thank you so much for making my Wednesday evening completely enjoyable. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I'm hoping you're able to join me back here again next Wednesday when we do something else cool and we'll start our new challenge next week. So until then, thank you everybody for joining me. Have a great night. Bye-bye.